Perform like a pro.
Hey, Randy. It's that time of year, man, where maintenance on this is kind of like your car. You got to change the oil on it, right?
Yep.
This needs service. And I put this in a couple years ago, and if there's not one thing I learned about my HVAC system is, man, I got to take care of it, because if not, it's going to leave me hanging. What do we do to take care of these things?
Need to do a yearly routine maintenance on it. We can catch problems before they become a problem.
Yeah. And like this here, for instance, it's brand new, so it's very simple for me to go, oh, I spent all this money. It's good for a number of years. But there's a lot of things we got to do inside of it.
Yes.
What do you recommend as part of that service?
We're gonna check the filter, make sure the filter's clean. We're gonna check all your motors, make sure the amp draws are good. If there's capacitors in here, we'll check those. We're gonna check gas pressure, make sure the gas pressure is good, and do a little cleaning, clean flame sensor.
Nice.
Clean things that'll cause an issue if you don't clean them.
Yeah, and just like anything, when you tune it up, you're getting it at its best efficiency, so that can save you some money in the long run.
Yes.
Absolutely. What's our first step on this thing, man?
So first of all, we're gonna kill the power to the unit at the breaker.
All right, let me go over and do that.
Power is off, so now we're just gonna open the door to the unit.
That's where my filter is hiding, right?
Yes. This is gonna be your filter right here. And yep, and it's time for it to be changed.
Yeah. How does this system work? Like, everybody has different filters, right? They've got the little 1-inch ones. This is one of the bigger ones that can last a lot longer, but this whole system's a little bit different, right, in how it works?
Yes, it's an air purifier, electrostatic air purifier.
Okay.
So it electrically charges the dust particles and makes them stick to that filter.
Oh, so that's why that grabs all that stuff without
Yeah.
it trying to jam through the
Yeah.
filter. It's
So
keeping it there.
The little microns that we usually get through the 1-inch filters, the smaller ones, it's blowing those up, electrically statically charging them, and makes them stick to that filter, and so they don't get back into the house.
Nice. Yeah, it's one of those things that I've talked to a lot of people about those things. You know, when you get those like 99-cent or probably $2 now, the fiberglass kind of filters, those are
Yes.
really there just to what? Keep a cat from going into the motor,
Yeah,
right?
they're worthless.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you really got to get something good. But if I remember right, you can actually put too good of a filter in and really change that system and make it so it doesn't work as well.
Yes. Yep, you're restricting the airflow if you go too big of a filter.
Gotcha. So you got to find that balance.
Yep.
Best way just to talk to your local HVAC professional to see what that's.
Yep. All according to the size of the unit and everything.
Okay. So basically comes down to airflow then, doesn't
Yep.
it?
Yes, it does.
All right. So what do we got next on this thing, man?
So next if you want to change this filter, we can put a new one in.
Okay. We can deal with that.
Open up the unit. We're gonna take a look at all the wires and make sure they're all connected everywhere on the board. Make sure we don't have anything loose that's gonna cause any issues. This Molex plug here a lot of times can vibrate loose. Then we're looking at like the little bit of, this one's just gonna need a little light cleaning. We'll just brush it off with a brush. Then the next step is I'll clean this flame sensor here.
And this stuff, guys, is really something that's best done for having somebody do it. I would not recommend this to be done by a DIYer. This is where you bring in the pro, because you can mess this stuff up. This is why I have people come out and do it, because that way I don't get caught without a heater or air conditioning. We got fire.
Now we have fire. So right now this is going to start out medium fire for 30 seconds, which adjustment's good on that. 1.3 inches of water column. After 30 seconds, it's going to drop to low fire.
Okay.
And then I'll jumper it and check high fire.
Gotcha. And you're just going to trick it to think it needs a bunch of heat, right?
Yes.
So when we're talking about maintenance with these things, of course we're talking about that spring maintenance right now. What do you expect people to do each year? Should this be done once, twice a year? And of course, how do you maintain these things for the long term, so that way you've got a machine that you're gonna actually make last the longest it can and keep the house healthy inside with decent quality air?
It's recommended to do it twice a year. You'll want to do your heating right before heating season, do your air conditioning right before air conditioning season. That's usually what's recommended to maintain both of them. The reason why it's usually twice a year, air conditioning, you can't really check refrigerant levels unless it's above 65 degrees outside. You can't really get a good accurate reading.
What do you recommend on filter changing? Because of course there's different environments, different filters. The small ones, for instance, that 1 inch that's in probably a good majority of people's houses in the area, how often should they change those?
The little 1 inch filters should be no longer than 90 days, about every 90 days, change those. If you have your 4 inch filters, those can be changed between 6 and 9 months. That's what's recommended. Depends on how dirty the air is. Just keep an eye on it and check it. And then like what you have with the air purifier, these can go a year.
Okay. Excellent, yeah. And in my case, it doesn't, only because I've got so much air quality issues with dogs and that kind of stuff. So.
Yep, that's something you'll just want to keep an eye on and check it about every 6 months and see if it's needs it at 6 months and do it twice a year.
All right. Randy, thanks for coming out today, and I got to learn a little bit what the service is on these type of units. Really appreciate you guys, again, being at my house working on this.
You're welcome.